Hall, 2024. Have opened the meeting. John, call for quorum, please.
I can do that. Leo Dirkman,
Present.
Brian Simons,
Remote but present.
Ron Moore.
Yep. Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Okay. I don't see that Curtis is here, but I have some questions for the strictly financial. If he shows up before we adjourn, and we won't be here long the way this is going to work out, I'm afraid, but I have some questions about repayment. Well, we've got two projects. We've got the one that's in full repayment for the fire department. Sorry. Okay. We have quorum, and Curtis is not here at this point for his presentation, but I do have some financial questions about repayment. We're into repayment on the firehouse. As I recall, that's 2 payments a year. Is that correct?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you need to do the approval of the minutes first?
Pardon me?
Do you need to do the approval of the previous minutes?
Oh, thank you. Procedurally, yes. Sorry.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm moving forward too fast.
Just having conversations.
I move to approve the minutes from the July 10th.
I'll second that. Any discussion about the minutes from hearing? Any discussion?
I suspect that was meant to say 2024 minutes.
I do believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll move to amend the agenda to reflect 2024.
I'll second that. Okay, any discussion about the minutes? Hearing none, please take a vote.
Ron Moore,
Here, yes, President, yes.
Brian Simons,
Yes.
Leo Dirkman.
Yes.
Passes 3-0.
Okay, thank you for pushing me back to that. But what's on my mind today is those payments when they're due. They've started already. The first one was already made in August, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so could you please, I know you're busy, John, and I hate to ask this, but could you please check with the clerk treasurer who didn't send anyone today, and see when those are due and the amounts that are currently being settled on to pay for the firehouse, and give us a date for the first payment on the parking garage.
Okay. Firehouse, parking garage. Okay.
Open discussion, if any, on the current project for Old Town Parking Garage. Anyone have any questions that we would like to pose to Old Town to get answers?
I think in absence of a presentation, maybe just an updated overall project schedule could be useful. I know there was some discussion at our last meeting about some concerns relative to the garage portion. So I think that would help alleviate some concerns if they can produce that.
Okay. So we need an updated construction schedule for the completion of the project. And if they can include those capital improvements that the current administration has requested, that would be good too. And while we're on that, for our next meeting, I'd like to have Janelle here.
Okay.
Janelle Fairman, so that we can discuss the project and the improvements and funding mechanism for those.
Okay.
Just for point of clarification, who is Janelle with?
Janelle is with the city. She is,
She's the Director of Economic Development.
Thank you.
she was here last time and talked briefly about those improvements, but offered no cost or funding mechanism. So, Gentlemen, is there anything, there isn't anyone else here besides us,
We
so-
can look at, we can at least look at what he put together. I mean, we won't get any commentary, but we can.
Well, I did see a building schedule, but I think Brian brings up, Mr. Simmons brings up a good suggestion. We need to stay on top of this because it's approaching completion, and I don't want to see us having delays because we're going to push right up against the first payment, I'm afraid. Is there any word about when they're going to be under roof from them?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, this is all pretty much,
Like, within 3 months is what it looks like if they're saying weathered in.
I'm sorry, Brian, would you please repeat that?
It looks like they'll be weather tight within 3 months is what they're projecting, the second bullet point on the right.
Right. I see that.
Then when's the first payment due?
Pardon me?
When is the first payment due?
I believe it's in July next year.
So 8 months.
Yeah, about 8 months. But we need to get that tied down for sure because they had projected only a projected start for that.
And where is that cash flow supposed to come from? Tenants?
That cash flow is supposed to come from Old Town, from a lease that they will have with the RDC, and the RDC will be funding the payment. Because they're leasing it from us. And they'll be funding the payment for that. So there's a timing mechanism that's going to have to start well in advance of the actual date, I believe, in order to get all those transfers in line and understood. That's where they were 3 months ago, almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's some roof line.
Driving by.
There they go.
RDC has funding in place to make this payment already, I'm assuming?
Beg your pardon?
Does the redevelopment commission have?
There will be increment revenues, and I'd have to look or Janelle would have to look and confirm.
Leo, as I recall in the leasing contract, that there was a backup funding mechanism that was food and beverage tax. Do you recall that, John?
I do not recall what the backup was,
Okay.
but I think it was, if it's typical, it would be lit.
Yeah.
Local income.
Local income tax, not food and beverage, local income, correct. Okay.
Looks like we've had some things pushed back, obviously, Sun King
Yeah, I see that.
Fire Station.
This fire station, they're starting in, Old Town is starting a new fire station in November? Question.
They're moving it,
Oh, that's the old fire
yeah,
station?
the old,
Okay,
they're
that's
getting
the-
it into place.
That's the one that's going to be part of Sun King down there on the corner.
Yeah, they're gonna move,
Okay.
yeah, they're gonna be moving that into place where it looks like they'll start that in November.
Yeah.
It's permanent location.
I mean, weather conditions have been exceedingly friendly, it would seem, for construction.
Yeah, we were talking about that before you got here,
So-
Leo. It's that,
I'm surprised that things are getting pushed back. Is there,
yeah, that would be a Curtis question, and unfortunately, he must have gotten delayed or sidetracked. I don't even have a phone message, or I'm looking at texts. I don't have any.
and Curtis is with Old Town?
He's with Old Town, yes.
Yeah, I would probably like to ask Old Town to have a more senior representative here and present for the next meeting if Curtis can't seem to find the time to spend with us.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Frankly, I'm a
mean-
little disappointed they didn't send someone today, but
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
talk to Curtis. about it.
You know, obviously we don't, I mean, it's hard for, one could surmise that they're not taking this process with the degree of
Yeah,
respect that it deserves. And one could also say that, you know, as things continue to get delayed, we'll start to have potentially media present because they love bad news or negativity.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
board member would suggest that they, strongly suggest that they have either their president or CEO present for the next meeting to explain things
Okay.
and the lack of dignity and respect that they're providing to this board
Okay.
by not showing up. And that can go in the minutes.
Okay.
I'm taking time out of my day. Ron's
Exactly.
taking time out of his day, as well as as Brian.
Ryan is too.
And we obviously have this board for some purpose.
Yep.
So
And we're
you're going to
meeting,
take my time up. I
Right,
deserve, I'm a
exactly.
human and I deserve dignity and respect.
yeah, while Janelle's group is pushing forward with things that are going on within the garage that we actually are going to be owning and not communicating to us exactly what it is that they're doing, also request that she show up here at the next meeting, as
Okay.
I've already suggested.
Yeah, I made a note of that. And I'll make sure that gets in the minutes.
I mean, that's fine.
No, Janelle is on vacation this week, so I can speak to that based on some other meetings, but I would echo the sentiments on the Old Town. If you go back one slide, as it relates to the garage, this goes to our requested schedule. It says garage Lithgow completed, just for the purpose of this room. Lithgow is the concrete contractor. That doesn't really speak to the overall completion schedule for the garage. So I think that would be important to understand that in a level of detail.
Okay. Okay.
I don't want you guys seeing garage completed when it's really not completed. There's more to a garage than concrete. Speaking from experience.
Agreed. Okay.
Any other comments on the project at the Old Town Garage? Okay, John, can we bring the schedule back up? Because I think we're to new business kind of thing. We need to talk about our next meeting, make sure we have a clear-cut time and frame for that meeting. I was willing to allow the next one to go, but since no one showed up here, I think we need another one here in the next quarter.
Okay.
January 15th is on the calendar right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the next year's has been posted. That was going to be my next conversation, Brian, is to talk about if that's acceptable to everyone. There are 4 dates that are proposed for 2025. That has been posted. One in each quarter. In January, we'll go through the process of electing officers again to move that forward to the first part of the year that will be compatible with all the rest of the commissions that the city has, as well as report on this. But we need one here with these principles because as Mr. Dirkman suggested, we don't need any surprises
Yep.
going into next year. And we need to have all those cards on the table now.
Okay.
Well, we'll be into next year when the next meeting is, so unfortunately, we're already in that position.
Yeah,
We've been put in that position by the lack of seriousness associated with the process.
What I would suggest, we could request a conversation, right? Not necessarily a meeting, if that is convenient for you.
the only problem with that is that,
Because you're not making any decisions, you're just being informed. I could check with Caitlin on
I
that.
think you need to check with legal on that, because I think
Okay.
if there's any business that is conducted, whether a decision is made or not, as long as it's considered business of the commission, it could be violating open door policy if we don't have an open meeting.
Okay.
But check with legal. I'd be happy to have a conversation. It would save us some time. And might move it forward quickly, rather than wait a month or two.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Just to back that up, if we can do that, that would be fine. Are there any dates out there that you could propose at this point, John, that you know that the meeting would, where we could?
I would not have
Okay.
any suggestions at this moment.
We're getting into the busy and holiday season here, so yeah, if we could do something that first week of December. I don't care about I don't care about closing, quarter closing at this point, John. Leah, what, do you have anything in your schedule for?
I'm open. I'm available.
Ryan, you got anything?
First week of December?
Yeah, first week of December.
Yeah, earlier in the week, I'm pretty open. Monday to Wednesday would be, there's not a Friday that week.
Okay. So second, third, or fourth, John?
Yes.
Can you help us with that?
So,
You can let it,
we need,
if you could publish the time and any kind of notes.
so do you want to do Wednesday, December?
That would be Monday, the 2nd, or the 3rd, or the 4th.
So Wednesday, the 4th to be, I guess I'm just being consistent, Wednesday, the 4th at 10.
Wednesday's fine
Okay.
with me.
Yeah, Wednesday the 4th. You want to check with scheduling for that, please?
Yep.
Make sure
I
the
can
room
do
is
that.
available?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Here, next item I was going to discuss was the schedule for next year and ask the my fellow members of this commission if they were agreeable with both the dates and time, if they had any conflicts that they were aware of.
I'm good with them.
Okay, Brian? Brian?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, okay, yes, okay. So we will accept those 4 dates as published. Thank you. Is there any other business that needs to be brought before this commission that anyone is aware of at this point? Hearing none, I'll offer to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it, and
Meeting adjourned,
thanks.
10:20.
Thanks, Jim. Have a good week.
You too, Brian. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. See ya.